Okay, so when it comes to the Nintendo Switch, we've had some amazing experiences, which can range anywhere from a few hours to, well, let's say a lot. Today, we're going to be taking you through 10 Switch games, which you can easily sink 100 hours plus into for you completionists out there. Hit subscribe, help us start 2020 in the perfect way, growing the family here on the channel. Hit like and leave us a comment below telling us what game you've sunk the most time into on the Switch since you've owned one. Now, in no particular order, I'm not ranking these, I want to put that out there, but let's get this started. Okay, so first off, with the completion times today, we've verified these using the How Long to Beat website. It's a great website, I suggest you do check it out. This will be our first of two lists, part 2 coming in the next few days. But kicking things off for us today, we've got Elder Scrolls Skyrim. And do I need to say much more about this one? It originally released way back in 2011, and this game's ability to stick around and pass between generations of consoles now never fails to impress me. It joined the Switch in 2017, it has impressed a huge amount of people, and understandably so. It's a stunning port. Here we basically have a first or third person action RPG set in a seriously detailed world, telling the tale of you, the Dragonborn, in your quest to defeat Alduin the World Eater, a dragon who is said to have the ability to destroy the world. Come here for the 30 or so hour main quest, stay though to talk to locals, dig deeper into the lore, and there's a lot of it, and then take on the countless side quests. It's easy with this one to just wander around and just waste hours away. A completionist time on this one is somewhere in the region of 200 hours, making it actually one of the longest on today's list. Okay, so next up we've got Dragon Quest XI, another port and another fantastic job here, not only including the base game, but also a retro 2D pixelated variation too. Nice for the more retro players out there who may have grown up with this series. It's seriously loved as well, and understandably so. Great visuals, a great cast of characters, solid gameplay mechanics, and a world it's very easy to get lost in. Take on the role of a warrior here, taking down monsters who took over the world. Plot-wise, I will say there's a whole lot going on here, so I'm going to leave it at that. But here you can expect the main quest to take in the region of around 50 hours. And then for the completionists out there, expect tons and tons of side quests, a world to explore, and then collectibles taking you well over the 120 hour mark. Okay, so let's move away from RPGs for a moment. The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, a creepy ass roguelike where your mother hears the voice of God, demands a sacrifice, and unfortunately, you as a child are that sacrifice. Escaping to the basement, expect to face all kinds of weirdness in this seriously challenging roguelite. Now, as with most roguelikes, replayability is a huge factor, and this one, the main story, you're actually only looking at around 5 hours. But for the completionists out there who are going to keep on jumping back in over and over again, expect a whole lot more. You're going to be playing with all of the characters, completing challenges, and finding items. That takes this one from 5 hours to, on average, around 225 hours. Serious jump right there, I know, but a fantastic game. It's going to keep you coming back over and over again, and there's nothing else that looks quite like it. So next up, an obvious one, but Breath of the Wild. First off, an incredible experience. Everyone should own it. If you have a Switch, you must play this game. If you don't have it already, go out and get it immediately. You won't regret it. Here though, we break the typical Zelda formula and find ourselves in an open world where discovery is key to your progression. It's something truly special. It broke a format we were used to and delivered in so many ways. I can't wait for the recently announced sequel, and if you haven't played this before, you've got a whole lot of gameplay ahead of you. About 50 hours for the main story, but then for that elusive 100% completion rate, expect to be sinking in around 180 hours. And with this game, I'm gonna tell you, 180 hours, it's gonna fly by. So can I get some closure? Stay right Okay, so now a hidden gem in my opinion, and just about making it to this list today. Darkest Dungeon with a completion time of 103 hours on average. The main quest here, you're looking in the region of 50 hours or so, but this one, it got its claws into me personally and just wouldn't let me go. I couldn't help but just keep on coming back to this one. It's got such an addictive formula. It's a roguelike turn-based RPG that pushes the boundaries where they've incorporated psychological stress management. It just completely adds to the difficulty, that's for sure. Now granted, here to get that plus 100 hours mark, you are going to be ramping that difficulty, but I'll also say for someone who hasn't played this game before, it's already a hell of a learning curve, and it's not for the faint of heart. It's also an acquired taste. It does, however, get a really strong recommendation from me. Okay, so next up, limiting myself to just one Final Fantasy title for this first list. I'm cheating and saying Final Fantasy X and X-2. It comes in one case, so I'm counting it, okay? For sure, not the best Final Fantasy. That for me goes to probably Final Fantasy IX. But here, value for money simply takes the crown today. Final Fantasy X as a whole is still a fantastic game though, and graphically for me, stands up to this day. Now taking on the role of Tidus, a sports star, or at least in part X, the better of these two games, you get swept into another world and join a band of heroes out to save the world of Spira. With this bundle, both games they have a completionist time of around 125 hours each. So that's 250 hours of total gameplay. Not bad for a game that you frequently see for around the $30 mark. Now a quick note on this one I want to make. X2, it is a digital code in the North American and European releases. If you don't like that, then import the Asia variation to get both on one cart if that's more your taste like me, or at least take it as a warning and find a pre-owned copy. There's a 99% chance that code has already been used. Okay, so let's talk Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Here, war is coming and you're invited to teach one of 3 houses. As a teacher, you must lead your students in, of course, academics, but then turn-based tactical RPG battles, and my god are they addictive. First off, you get essentially 3 separate playthroughs as you choose from one of the 3 houses. You can go back and do it again, but this one with a huge world to explore, tons of people to speak to, and side quests, it's gonna keep you busy, that's for sure. A main story direct playthrough is gonna take you anywhere from probably 50 to 80 hours. I was about the 60 mark. But completionists expect 160 hours in this. One of the best games of 2019. You can actually head over to the channel and check out our top 20 games of 2019. The gameplay is just so addictive, and I'm still playing this one now myself. I'm actually on my way through a second playthrough. Okay, so let's look at something a little bit different. Monster Hunter Generations. While I will say not a perfect game in my opinion, might upset a few of you, but I actually preferred God Eater 3, another top game for me in 2019. But Monster Hunter, it's not short on content. The idea is simple: equip a warrior, join players online and battle monsters, and then basically just repeat. This one, it can technically be endless, as so many people return over and over again. But if you just want to beat the main story and the side quests, I'd say expect around the 120 hour mark. Too many load screens let it down and stunted the whole experience for me overall, and I will say gameplay wise there is better in my opinion. As I said, God Eater 3, but it's much shorter. None of them have the amount of content that's on display here. Now next up, one of the most impressive ports easily. I can't believe I can play it handheld. The Witcher 3. This is an incredible story, and while it may be the third, you can easily jump into this one with no prior experience of the series. I played all 3. The original was on the PC, the second one I think was the Xbox 360, but you can have no issues jumping in here. We get the incredible story of Geralt the Witcher, a professional monster slayer. It won a ton of awards, and understandably so. Now it's even got a Netflix series based in its world. This game is huge for the main story, side quests, and then the DLC that is included here. That's Blood and Wine and Heart of Stone. You're looking at 130 hours. Then for the completionist, near 200 hours. This easy buy. If you can sacrifice the portability though, I would probably go Xbox or PS4 personally, just because you're going to get that 4K experience, and I really like 4K. But then if Switch is your only way to play, don't shy away from that. It's still easily money well spent. I've picked up a copy myself. I think this is one of the best games of this generation, and there's very few out that can even touch it. Okay, so last up in our first of the two 100-hour lists. This one, it can technically be endless. You may say I'm cheating with this one a little bit, so I'm curious to see what you think. Super Mario Maker 2. It has a relatively short single player, which is going to give you about 10 hours of gameplay or so. But what's going to keep you coming back here is just simply the creativity. Here we have the ability to build levels, and these things you can just sink hours into building them and putting your best, putting your best foot forward with the community. But then you can also download and play levels other people have created. I'm in the region of 80 hours on this now. I'll be playing it for the entire Switch lifecycle, I have no doubt about that. I'm not sure if I did cheat, as I say, putting this one in here. So I'm curious to see what you think, but to me, I can go on here and I can play a new level every single day. There's really no end time to this. Completion time here is endless. It's basically when the servers eventually go down. Fantastic game, and if you get just one Mario game on the Switch, I'd actually put this one above Mario Odyssey. That's bound to annoy a few people out there. I just prefer 2D Mario. I think this is such a creative experience. I absolutely adore it. Okay, so that's it. Our first 10 Switch games clocking in over the 100-hour mark. When was the last time you had an experience of over 100 hours on any console? Expect part 2 to drop in the next few days. As I say, hit subscribe and that notification bell so you can be the first ones to see it. Head to the channel now so you can check out some of our reviews and other videos and lists, and then hit like. It's always appreciated. And I just want to quickly take a moment to thank the countless subscribers who have joined the channel over this last month. It's been an amazing way to finish the year for us. So yeah, thank you. We appreciate all of you for helping us build this community. We'll see you all on the next Gaming X.